Hi, this is Ken, and welcome to Driving Profitable Growth with Integrated Marketing versus Siloed Marketing. It can be a struggle to get those you work with to all have a common vocabulary that works at an advanced level to reach shared goals. This video can help make it easier to do that. Here is the journey we will be going on together. First, we will start with the difference between integrated marketing versus siloed marketing. Then we will transition onto behaviors, journeys, business model, and finally next steps. We start with the difference between integrated marketing and siloed marketing. Marketing teams are considered fortunate if the company at least recognizes the 4 Ps as part of the marketing mix: the product, the price, the place, and promotion. The less fortunate marketing teams work at companies that only consider promotion to be the entire marketing mix. By contrast, the integrated marketing mix has 3 elements to it: the behaviors, the journeys that those behaviors fit within, and the business model that both the behaviors and journeys fit within. When you put it all together, you can drive profitable behaviors within the customer journeys that fit well in your business model, when you know how it all fits together. The difference between integrated marketing and siloed marketing makes a very real difference. Companies that exhibit fractional thinking typically deliver fractional results, and employee engagement is typically also lower. Average thinking typically delivers average results, and is also usually more or more siloed type of thinking, less frustrating than fractional thinking, but not as effective as more advanced thinking. Advanced thinking better engages employees, generating synergistic thinking that can make everyone happier, faster and more productive. There is more on this in a separate integrated thinking video. Walmart applies more advanced thinking. Sears was somewhere between fractional and average. This type of thinking applies to all companies. The choice is yours. Which company do you want to be more like? Diving a little deeper into behaviors, here is one way that every company can understand what needs to be done. Here is an incredibly useful grid to get everyone pulling in the same direction. A common vocabulary for reaching shared goals. Start with the customers and describe what you know about prospects. There are customers that are fans and customers that are non-fans. Customers that are fans are loyalists. Customers that are non-fans are vulnerables. Prospects that are fans are considered prime prospects. Prospects that are non-fans are potential prospects. And some of the prospects that are non-fans are close to the company or the category as a whole. All to be driven on foundation of profitable compliance. Ideally, you retain and leverage loyalists and win back vulnerables. The goal is to drive everyone into the upper left-hand corner, driving prime prospects to become loyalists. Each barrier is unique, so it is necessary to have a portfolio of strategies, driving potential prospects to becoming prime prospects. And there are some people that are prospects and that are not fans. They are closed, unwinnable. It is good to know who these people are, so that resources aren't wasted on them. Each of these segments has a separate strategy that should be part of the game plan for every company. There is a 6-step fill-in-the-blank process that can be used to help drive each segment over the various barriers and into the upper left-hand quarter of the grid. The following is often referred to as the Pete the Mountain Goat slide. We start at the end with the goal, driving the desired behaviors, which oddly enough is the 4th step in a 6-step process. It turns out that it is perceptions that drive behaviors, and current perceptions drive current behaviors, and desired perceptions drive desired behaviors, and driving these desired behaviors is the end goal. The trick is then how to best flip the current perceptions and current behaviors to become the desired perceptions and the desired behaviors. The challenge is that there is a primary actionable barrier that stands in the way of making this flip happen. So to reach your goal, you need to figure out what it is that you are going to design. What to design that will overcome the primary actionable barrier. That will then flip the current perceptions and behaviors to the desired perceptions and the desired behaviors. and a strong branding strategy can help overcome the barriers along the way. But first, what a brand is, and how it works. A brand is the psychic plaquey residue left over from every experience that someone has had with your brand. The goal of the brand is to drive the profitable behaviors of both customers and coworkers. A brand does this by taking up unique, positive, mental real estate. Unique so that the brand stands out. Positive, because negative branding doesn't work as well. And take up mental real estate, because the more room taken up, the more likely people are to act and to recommend. Historically, it has often taken teams months, and sometimes years, or even ever at all, to get on the same page regarding what a brand even is, what the goal of the brand is, and finally how a brand works. However, you can realize more profitable growth at your company more quickly if it only takes your teams a day to have a shared understanding of all of this. Now on to the journeys. We will start with a universal part of the customer experience flow. The act of hooking the customers. Generally, when you are trying to hook customers, you are trying to win them over from head to heart. Starting with their head, to get them to know that you exist. To winning over their smiles, to get them to like what you are offering. To win over their hands, to get them to do something about it. To trial purchase, or repurchase. And finally to win over their hearts, for loyalty, to get them to repurchase. And to get them to recommend what you offer to others. How are you going to win over the whole customer? While that was the general customer experience flow from head to heart, the flow is unique to each business and/or industry. For example, here is a basic customer experience flow for the retail industry. We can start with the 5 basics of retail. Beyond working from their heads to their hearts, in retail, you need to make it easy for people to get into your store. Whether it is a physical store, or whether it is online. And once they are in your store, make it easy, or at least pleasurable for them to find what it is that they need. And once they find what they need, have them find it at a price that they consider to be fair. And then make it easy for them to pay for what it is that they wanted. And finally, make it easy for them to get back out of your physical, or your online store. This all sounds both easy and basic, but it is amazing how many retailers struggle with this. Take a look at your personal experience. Have you had a hard time trying to find the things that you need? Have you been places where the pricing seemed to be off? Has it ever been hard to pay and get out? Because while they have 20 registers in the store, only 2 are open, and both lines are 10 people deep. Again, this feels like it is both easy and basic, but it is more complex in reality. But it is easier to have a competitively superior experience if your team both understands the flow as a whole, and then works on the flow as a whole. In retail, and in other industries, the difference between integrated thinking and siloed thinking makes a very real difference. To make the examples feel more real, Walmart is a great example of how to think in an integrated way. It is how one of the largest companies on the planet is able to be much more nimble than companies smaller than them. Sears, on the other hand, insisted on siloed thinking. And it was this type of thinking that helped kill Sears. For example, they were the type of company that would use Six Sigma to determine how to put the shiniest, most beautiful coat of paint on a car that was totaled and in a ditch. Some people don't like it, but this is how reality works. Walmart-like thinking generates Walmart-like results. And Sears-like thinking delivers Sears-like results. The question then is, which company do you want to be more like? There is a separate video that gives an overview as to how to make this easier for your company as a whole, beyond just the marketing department. If you are interested, please let me know and I will send you the link to it. Here is an example of the customer experience flow in healthcare. It all starts with the patients. As more of the burden for the costs of healthcare are being pushed onto patients, patients are now considered to be more like shoppers of healthcare than ever before. Typically, the first thing that people do when it comes to healthcare is determine whether they are going to be covered by a plan or be a cash customer. Many times, if the patient has a small malady, they will go to the pharmacy for an over-the-counter medication. If a patient has something more serious, they will seek out care from either a health system or an individual physician. If their condition is serious enough, the doctor may have them go to a pharmacy or specialty pharmacy for more advanced medications. The customer then has an experience with a medication that a pharmaceutical manufacturer has produced. At this point, the health plans will then consider what it is that they will and will not cover. The patients then typically have the prescriptions refilled if necessary, as well as follow-up visits with their health system or provider. In value-based healthcare strategies and systems, the quadruple aim is designed to improve the patient experience, improve the health of the population, while reducing the costs of care, while also improving the well-being of the care team. This is all much easier to do when everyone understands the same flow. And it is made difficult to nearly impossible if everyone only understands just their piece. The journey improves for everyone when there is coordination, communication and alignment along the entire flow. And there are huge opportunities for improvement among many organizations in the healthcare industry. Now we are going to transition to the business model. The real magic happens when you both understand and drive the behaviors of the customer. Understand and drive the behaviors within the customer journey. And understanding how all of this occurs within your business model. While there is another video that covers business models and the benefits of integrated thinking. In this video we will only touch on how integrated thinking business models work at a high level. We will start off with KPIs, scorecards, and dashboards. Oh my! This is an homage to lions, tigers and bears from The Wizard of Oz. Siloed thinking often looks at everything in a vacuum. For example, when looking at KPIs, you might know what they are, but is this number supposed to be 5 times larger than the other numbers? With scorecards, how do all of these numbers relate to each other? How do they relate to each other in the flow of the customer experience? And how do these scorecard metrics all relate to each other in the flow of the business model? And with dashboards, how are we to prioritize all of this? Just because something is red, does that mean it is of the highest priority? Or could something that is green and under threat actually be the number one priority? Without understanding all of this within the context of the customer and business flows, it is hard if not impossible to know. Walmart understands how all of this fits within the customer and business flows. Sears never did. And Sears was determined not to understand this within the context of their flows. For any company, do you think it is better that they think more like Walmart, or more like Sears? When it comes to your company, do you think it is better to think more like Walmart, or for your company to think more like Sears? The choice is yours to make. When you do put KPIs, scorecards and dashboards into the flow of business, it looks like the following. In solving this for a CEO years ago, it turned out to be the flow of with what we are given. What do we do about it? What are the results? And finally, how successful were we? This is a business model on one page. And it works whether you are selling shoes, or if you are producing avionics for the military. Or if your company is doing absolutely anything else. This framework is so useful that you can then layer in your objectives and strategies. Your objectives should act like anchors or foundations for your strategies. Operational strategies usually start here. And here is the end result of your marketing strategy. The start of the marketing strategy is not shown, because different companies will start their marketing strategies in different places. And here is the end result of your financial strategy. The start of the financial strategy is not shown, because different companies will start their financial strategies in different places. There is even room for your customer's strategy, regarding whether they trial purchase or repurchase. While there are legal strategies, HR strategies and a range of other strategies. When you put your objectives and these 4 strategies together, it provides a more solid way to generate a balanced strategy. I am more than happy to help you with all of this if you like. Over the years, this business model framework has even been a fill-in-the-blank workshop exercise at some companies. Think of it as a Mad Lib-like, fun fill-in-the-blank exercise for your company. While there is so much additional detail that can be added to every element in this video, because this is a high-level overview, we will now get on to next steps. First and foremost, please share this with others. It is easier to get where it is that you are going, when you are all pulling in the same direction. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn if you would like a link to more material, or if you would like help with any of this. And please let me know if you have any comments or questions. This overall process can be quick and fun, and I enjoy sharing it with others. And thank you. In my personal mission to better understand both marketing and business as a whole, hopefully I have made things better for you. Thank you again.